What's up, YouTube? It's Nav Sultan, and this is Sultanic Thoughts. You see that behind us? You know what that is? That's a dump called Detroit. It's one of the countries, cities in America, and it's a dangerous place. And today's topic is about how love is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Uh, Everybody thinks love. Oh yeah, I just want to fall in love, find someone to fall in love with, and watch Netflix and bust nuts with. And it's like you think that's how it is, you know? Most people have no business being in love, handling love, being involved in it, because love is dangerous. Love is next to fentanyl. I think love is the most dangerous thing in the world because if it's in the wrong hands, you can seriously damage the other person on a long-term basis, on a short-term basis, permanently even. And what makes it so dangerous is that you have to kind of submit to love, right? You gotta kind of submit to it because love is gonna do its own thing and go for the ride. And while you go for the ride, you sort of lose yourself. Your ego, has to compromise. You have to put down your walls, your old beliefs, and you're also at the mercy of your partner because what happens is that at some point the intensity of the love changes and the mirrors start coming out. And when the mirrors come out, you start to see, wait a minute, you start to see what you have to work on. Usually you see what they have to work on. Usually the finger is pointed outwards. Usually you're looking at your partner and you're saying, well, if you just do this, then I'll be happy. And if I'm happy, then we can keep this relationship going. And that is a huge trap. That's a huge cop out because the whole purpose of the relationship is to mirror your own bullshit, right? And we don't want to deal with the bullshit. We want to sit there and we want to watch, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, learning about narcissism or personality disorder, avoidance, whatever it is. And we want to take that information and come save the day. But we never want to take the information about us and save ourselves because, that is we're basically running away from ourselves. And love is great at shining a light on yourself to see what you need to work on. It's one of the biggest self-development tools. But when you love hard, you hurt hard. And you are putting, your future, your personality, your well-being in the hands of somebody else. And if those people are irresponsible, they can do some big damage to you. Because either the relationship's going to peak and you're trying to take it to that next stage, which is you both have to work on yourself. They don't want to work on themselves. They're not willing to deal with themselves. They still want to run away from themselves. So either you have to accept them the way they are and slowly lose yourself in the process, right? Lose your self-respect, lose your self-love, lose your soul, lose your mind, lose your energy to just keep them around, and they'll probably end up discarding you because you're a shell of yourself. Or you have to pick self-love and you have to cut them off. And now when you cut them off, you're basically walking towards grief. You're walking back into this garbage dating market. You know what I mean? Trying to find something better and you don't, so you miss them. You wake up one day, you feel good. Next day you wake up, you had a dream about them and you're pretty much destroyed for the day. And you see guys get burned in love. And what they do afterwards is that they go and try to get this girl, that girl. They just become massive whores. Same with girls. Girls become massive whores too. But what they end up doing in that process is since they didn't process the bad events, since they didn't do what they were supposed to do to become a healthy individual before going back in that dating market, they just start creating baggage and trauma for a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean? And that's why the Western world, it's a disgusting garbage can, the date pool, because it's just full of people using these apps to escape the grief, of a past relationship, of a past love, bringing their baggage into the next one, and just using whoever they matched on as a emotional janitor. And it's just a mess out here. And guys, man, guys, we go through breakups. We come out stronger. We hit the gym. We make more money. We improve ourselves, better ourselves. We become less naive. But women, man, these breakups take a toll on them. They're usually not the same. And, when they don't want to face themselves, basically they enter a honeymoon phase. Then when the mask falls off, they leave and go find somebody else in the honeymoon phase. All they're basically trying to do is find someone who's not going to see them for who they are. Now, who are these guys? These guys are simps. So what happens? They end up with these simps and they end up resentful. You know what I mean? These are happy life, happy wife, beta male gang dudes. And, the girl might feel comfortable because she doesn't have to change who she is. However, as time goes on, she resents this guy. When she looks at this guy, she's not looking at her husband. She's not looking at her boyfriend. She is looking at her failure. She feels like a failure when she looks at this guy because she didn't get the total package. She may have gotten the guy with a steady job, steady income, didn't cheat on him, stayed loyal. He could have even been a 6'2", 6'4" simp too. But that Prince Charming, that connection, you know what I mean? It was never there, and it never will be there. And they grow resentful. They hold back the sex. They get divorced, and it's one of these things, man. A lot of people go like myself. We go long periods without love because we've had it, and we've seen how much it changes us and how much of a battle it was just to get our old self back. But enough time goes by and you get a taste of it and you think like, oh yeah, this shit was the best. Yeah, I can't believe I went all this time without it. Until that mask falls off and you're here dealing with it again. And it's great if you can find it. There are people that do find it, healthy relationships, but you really have to be a secure person. You know what I mean? You have to have your own stuff in check. You have to have your own stuff you got to be secure. If you have attachment styles that are negative, you have to work on yourself. And you basically got to work it through it with your partner. It's not going to be easy. And people are sold this dream that, when you find the right person, everything just works itself out. Their shit smells like lavender and you know what I mean? And they're whatever it is that they think. No, man, it's work. It's tough. Talk to people that have been married 10, 15 years. They'll tell you it's the hardest thing they've ever done. But if you can get through it with the right person, I think it is worth it. Because the alternative is what? You're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're alone. That ain't good, man. I'm 40 now, man. I go on these, I re-downloaded a dating app and I'm telling you, so many girls have their filters set at 39 years old. As soon as I turn 40, man, that shit is trash, bro. Trash. I'm seeing the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? Women in their 40s, miserable, beat up, didn't take care of themselves, knows what kind of damage, shit, and baggage they're holding on to. Single mothers, out of shape, fat, and the delusion is just double down. You could tell they never face themselves. When you talk to these girls, it's always like, so tell me, why'd you and an ex break up? I was a narcissist. All the time. Like all the time. Every guy is a narcissist. Every ex-boyfriend from these girls on the dating app is a narcissist. They haven't done the real work. They haven't worked on themselves. And they just try to avoid it. But you cannot run from yourself. I'm telling you, the longer you wait to confront yourself, the worse it gets. It gets worse and worse. And you think you can run from yourself. A lot of these girls in their 20s, early 30s, they think, oh, well, I'm still getting attention. And, I still have 5, 6 beta male simps around me that are orbiting me. Well, and there's just one guy that I really like. So I'm just keeping my options available. And they think so. But you will be forced. And when you're forced to deal with yourself, it's a different kind of pain. It's a different kind of uncomfort. Because when you are forced to deal with yourself, usually that's when you've lost time. And you can't get that time back. As a girl, would you rather not face yourself in your 20s, in your like as soon as you turn 30, or do you want to wait till you're 45 and 50? And do you want to even just double down on your delusion when you're 55, 60 on it? And you know, you are your worst enemy when it comes to keeping the relationship alive. You have to be thick-skinned. You have to be willing to work on yourself, and you have to find a partner that's willing to meet you halfway. I'm not talking about paying for dates halfway. I'm talking about the work that needs to go down, the honesty that needs to go down. From an honesty level, you guys have to meet halfway. You both have to really sit there and say, listen, this is how I'm messed up in the head. This is how you're messed up in the head. And you have to be able to kind of almost soothe each other's, you know, anxieties, soothe each other's insecurities, right? Because if you don't, your nervous system is going to get out of whack, and you're just going to act out in irrational manners. And you know, it's hard out here to find someone that you can really build a future with and take care of and have that connection with. And people get it, and just because the initial discomfort of the masks and not facing themselves, they kick that person to the curb and they think they're just going to go pick up another one. And it doesn't work like that. And they search here, they search there, they search everywhere, trying to find that person in another person, minus the fact that trying to subtract the inevitable, which is confronting themselves and growing and learning about how they self-sabotage the relationship, guys. So that's the video I wanted to make. Like I said, 30 days, 30 videos. I'm staying consistent. I got away from the city, ended up in Windsor. I got Detroit behind me. Right now, I'm at the casino. I think I'm going to play some UFC parlay. There's a UFC tonight. And I might just go mess around on the poker tables. Not going to go too crazy, you know what I mean? Play a 2-5 game or something. Maybe they said they have 1-2s only, but we'll see. If they only have 1-2s, I'll play 1-2. Try to hit some money up. Yeah, I might go across the border, get some Detroit pizza tomorrow, if they let me across the border, because, you know, I'm Middle Eastern. I look like a dirtbag, so you know they're gonna give me shit. But we'll see what it is, guys. Like, subscribe, please. You know what I mean? I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to get the message out. I'm getting really comfortable with making these videos. The content's getting better. And I just kind of want to, you know, I just want to get views. So I just want people to give me their honest opinion and feedback about the things I talk about. You know, that for me, I have no expectations of this channel, but I do kind of crave to just know what people think of the videos. Strangers, right? So, but that's on me. I got to build my name out. I got to get out there, put in more grind. I'm doing the first part, which is making the content. But now I got to do the grind, which is marketing, reaching out to people, maybe getting on people's shows, going to events in my city, shaking hands with people, introducing myself, telling them I have a YouTube channel. And grassroots, you know, I have no choice. It's grassroots or it's run ads. So we're going to do it all, hopefully. Guys, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. I really like making this video. Peace.